So the next chapter is locomotion and movement. So we know, so except the plants are the exception for this one. And whether the organism is unicellular or the multicellular or the higher organism, so they are able to possess a particular phenomena, what that is called as either the movement or the locomotion. So almost every organism, that is living organism that possess movements or different types of movements or locomotion. Why? What is the need of that one? For different reasons such as, so what are the reasons for showing locomotion as well as the movement means? The one for in search of food. First one is in search of food, right? Means in search of food means, so it will go in search of food and capture the food. In order to capture the food or in order to engulf that food into the digestive system, the movement in the body part is very necessary. So they go in search of food, and then second one is in search of shelter or to build shelter. Next, for protection from the enemies or the predators. Next, what happens? So they go in search of mate also. So these are the basic reasons why do organisms possess the movements or the locomotion. If you consider unicellular organisms, say for example, in unicellular organisms, what is the good example for the unicellular organism here? That is amoeba. Which type of movement can be seen in that amoeba? Amoeboid. Because it's amoeboid movement is present, right? That is how the movement or the locomotion takes place. Yes, amoeba get locomote by streaming of cytoplasm or the protoplasm. So in this amoeba, in which what happens? Protoplasm streaming leads to formation and withdrawal of false legs, nothing but here pseudopodia. So with the help of that pseudopodia only, it gets locomoted. So in amoeba, what happens? Protoplasmic streaming that leads to the formation as well as the withdrawal of pseudopodia. These pseudopodia, they help in locomotion as well as the engulf of the food, right? So in going search of the food as well as for the engulfing of the food here, which type of movements takes place here? Nothing but protoplasmic streaming or the pseudopodial movement takes place. Being unicellular organism also, even though it is not having any specialized structures for the locomotion or the movement, but it do also carry out the locomotion as well as the movement with the help of formation and withdrawal of pseudopodia. Okay. So what about in case of multicellular organisms? But in multicellular organisms, what about in case of multicellular organisms? Specialized structures will be present for carrying out movement as well as the locomotion, right? So what those specialized structures are? In case of multicellular organisms, specialized structures are present to carry out movement as well as the locomotion. Specialized structures present for movements as well as locomotion. Can you list the specialized structures then? That is, if you take the lower organism, tentacles will be present in Hydra. That is, the tentacles in Hydra. Tentacles in case of Hydra. What about other higher organisms? Only tentacles? Flagella, where? Yes, flagella in case of Paramecium or Euglena? Euglena and then Paramecium. Okay, so there cilia or the flagella will be present. Next, limbs. Limbs are the main locomotory organs which are present in the higher organisms, such as, if you take the example of human beings only, so we have two pairs of limbs, right? So what are the functions which are carried out by these limbs? Means either the capture of the food and then the engulf of the food, and also they help in the locomotion, means locomotion of that individual or displacement of that individual from one place to other place in search of food or in search of the shelter, or in order to build that shelter and in order to get protected from the enemies, and also in search of mate. Okay, so various structures such as the tentacles, flagella, limbs. Not only these structures, even we can also mention the tongue, then teeth, right? Then the esophagus, right? Yes, that helps in peristaltic movement in order to pass the food from mouth, that is from the pharynx into the stomach for the digestion. Like that, the various structures are present. Those are specialized in order to carry out the movement in the body or the movement in the parts of the body to carry out the locomotion. And out in this one. Then, so as we already said that one, the difference between the locomotion and movement is that here the movement of different parts of the body that result in the locomotion of an individual. So, from this point of view, we can say that one, locomotions are the type of movements only. Means some sort of movements result in displacement of an organism from one place to other place. So locomotion, all type of locomotion are movements only, but all movements are not locomotions. So by this we can say that one, the movements are the change in direction of body parts. But locomotion means which can cause displacement of an individual from one place to another. Okay, such movements are called as locomotion. Such movements are called as then locomotions. So by this point of view, we can say that one, some movements in the body, so they can cause locomotion. With this diagrammatic representation, you can understand that one, all locomotions are movements only, but all movements are not locomotions. Okay. So this is regarding the basic information of movement and then the locomotion, and what is the purpose or what is the reason behind carrying out the different type of movements and locomotion in an individual. So movements and locomotion are not different entities. So these are not different entity, but they are independent to each other. But they are independent to each other. What is the meaning of this one? Movements in any part of the body may or may not result in the locomotion in that individual, but movements will take place in the body, right? Whether the internal movements or the external movements. So movements may be internal or external. Such movements, these movements that may be internal or external. This may be internal or the external. For example, internal movements means that leads to the passage of various substances or the transport of various substances from one part of the body to the other part of the body in order to carry out a physiological function in order to keep that organism alive. And external movements are required for the capture of the food or the protection from the enemies or in search of the food or mate or the shelter. Okay, they do get locomoted from one place to the other place. Is it clear? So that the movements may result in the locomotion or may not result in the locomotion, but both of them are not different entities. So both are means of movements only, or change in the body direction of the body parts only, and they are independent to each other. With this point we can say that one. Yes, what are the types of locomotions that can be seen in the organisms? How many type of locomotion may be seen in organisms, living organisms? So what are the, not the locomotions, types of movements? What are the types of movements which can be seen in living organisms? So movements which can be seen in the living organisms can be broadly classified into three types. What are those three types of movements here? Yes? First one is amoeboid type of movement. Amoeboid. Next is ciliated movements. Next, muscular or musculoskeletal movements. Musculoskeletal movements. Can you give example for each type here? Amoeboid movement means. So here the type of movement which occurs with the formation as well as the withdrawal of the pseudopodia from the cell by various cells, those type of movements are called as amoeboid movements. So in which parts of the body you can observe the amoeboid fashion movement in our body means? So this is possessed by, for example, in case of leukocyte, that is WBCs, where there is a for continuous formation as well as the withdrawal of pseudopodia takes place in order to reach the site of infection or the where the pathogen entered into our body, to engulf that pathogen and destroy it. The various type of WBCs, that is leukocytes, as well as macrophages. So they exhibit amoeboid fashion or amoeboid type of movement in our body. Okay, other than this, any other structures are there which exhibit the amoeboid fashion movement or the amoeba type of movement in our body? So majorly the macrophages as well as WBCs are different type of leukocytes. Okay. Next is ciliated type of movements. Yes. Which of the body parts they show ciliated movement here? There are certain hollow parts which are present in body, or tubular parts present in our body. Okay, they are lined with the help of ciliated epithelium, and the cilia together possess or that creates an oil type of movement that creates water current, and that is required for the transport of various substances from one place to the other place of the body, or from one part of the body to the other part of the body. For example, ciliated type of movements where it takes place means, example, ciliated epithelium of respiratory tract is one. Respiratory tract is the one, and the other one is fallopian tube. Fallopian tube or the oviduct. So what is the function of ciliated epithelium of the respiratory tract here? So here the ciliated movements which takes place in the lining of that respiratory tract with the ciliated epithelium, so which helps in removal of, so this one helps in removal of dust or the dirt which is captured or which is present in the inhaled atmospheric air. Inhaled atmospheric air should be expelled out, and that takes place with the help of ciliated movement from the ciliated epithelium lining the respiratory tract. Then what happens in fallopian tube? Fallopian tube is also lined by ciliated epithelium, and this one helps in fallopian tube, which helps in a transport of ovum, that is the egg, okay, into the site of fertilization, from ovary to the site of fertilization. So this is how the ciliated movements takes place in our body, certain parts of our body. So with respect to the ciliated movement here, we can also mention the flagellated movement also. Okay, the flagellated or flagellar movements. In which parts of the body the flagellar movement takes place? Flagellar movements. Can you give the example for the flagellar movements here? Which structures in our body shows a flagellar movement? The example is the sperm, human sperm. It contains a single flagella that helps in its transport into the site of fertilization. Site of fertilization once it is released into the reproductive tract. Any doubt in that one? So that sperm which contains single flagella, right? This flagella or the tail of that sperm is only called as a flagella, that shows a swift or the whiplash type of movement in order to reach the site of fertilization in the reproductive tract. Next, musculoskeletal type of movements. So what it involves here? Which type of tissue are involved here? It involves muscular tissue. So which involves muscular tissue and skeletal system. So because of contraction and relaxation of the muscles which are attached to the bones of skeletal system, bring various type of movements in different parts of the body. That helps in the locomotion of that individual from one place to another place. So example here, the muscles of limbs and the muscles of eyeball. Next, the muscles of tongue, the muscles of alimentary canal. Similarly, you can also list the muscles of urinary bladder and muscles of ureter. So physiological function associated with these organs, okay, so they require the contraction and relaxation of the muscles associated with their structure. That brings different type of movements and help in that physiological function, as well as the movement in various parts of the body and the locomotion of that individual from one place to the other place. So that involves two tissues. Which are those? Muscular tissue and then the connective tissue, particularly the skeletal system. system. Any doubt in this? Okay. See, the blood transport means the transport of the blood takes place based on the pressure exerted by the contraction of the ventricles. Pressure exerted by the contraction of ventricles that flows through the series or the a network of blood vessels. And particularly with respect to the return of the blood through the veins into the heart, that requires the massaging action by the skeletal muscles which are present in the limbs. By that the blood transport takes place. But here the three main type of movements which are involved in the living organisms is amoeboid fascial movement, ciliated movement, and then the musculoskeletal type of movements. Any doubt in this one? How many muscles are present in our body? Bones are 206. Ellinda sikta number. Some are having 536 muscles. What is the number? Number of bones present in our body? 206. No doubt in that one, right? Then what about muscles? See, number of muscles present in our body, nothing but 639. So let's discuss about the muscles or the muscular tissue. So number of muscles in our body, (639). So these 639 muscles constitute 35 to 40%, nearly 35 to 40% of body weight. Okay, so they constitute nearly 40% of body weight. 40% of the body weight is constituted by muscles only. Okay. So what are the types of muscles are present, and what are the properties of an muscle means? What are the properties of muscles? Yes. So here the muscle is made up of specialized cells called myocytes, right? Myocytes. Why they are called as specialized cells means because they have specialized properties. They have the properties such as yes, triple EC. What this triple EC means here? One is contractility. Contractility is the one property or the one feature of the muscle cell. Next, E means excitability. So they do get excited when they receive the stimuli or any type of stimulus. Next is extensibility. Yes, elasticity. So these are the four properties of muscle tissue or the muscle cells. Any doubt in this one? Then from where these muscles are or the muscular tissue is derived. So such a muscular tissue is derived from which germinal layer? So muscles or the muscular tissue are mesodermal in origin. So they are derived from mesoderm of three germinal layers. How many germinal layers are present? Three, right? Ectoderm, endoderm, and then the mesoderm. From which mesoderm the muscular tissue or the muscles are derived means it is mesoderm only. So what are the types of muscles are there? So based on the location and the function they carry out and their structure, there are three basic type of muscles are there, right? What are those three basic type of muscles? Skeletal muscles or stride muscles or striated muscles. Next, smooth muscle or unstriped muscles, and then cardiac muscles. So what are the properties of these three types of muscles? Let us list their properties or the characteristic features now. Okay. So we know that there are three types of muscles are there. So what are the three types of muscles? First one is striped muscle or striated muscles, or they are also called as skeletal muscles. This is the one type of muscle. The next type is unstriped or smooth muscle. The next type of muscles are cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle. So this classification of muscles or classification into different types is based on, so types of muscle are based on the function they carry out and location they are, where they are present, and also based on their structure. So based on these three criteria, that is function they carry out, location where they are present, and then the structure what they constitute, they are classified into three types. Striped or striated or skeletal muscle is the one type, smooth or unstriped muscle is the another type, and then the cardiac muscle. So what is the location of these striped muscle or the striated muscle, where they are present? So location where they are present, these are attached to the bones of the various parts which are present in our body. Means such muscles are attached to the bones of limbs and other parts. Bones of limbs and then the other parts. So they are called as skeletal muscles. What about the striped muscles or the smooth muscles? So these are present in visceral organs of our body. Visceral are the smooth organs of our body. Unstriped muscle are the smooth muscles. So these are present in visceral organs of our body. Visceral organs of our body. So what are the visceral organs here? Example, say for example, esophagus, right? And then intestine, stomach, and other parts which are present in our body. What about the cardiac muscle? Where the cardiac muscle is present? So cardiac muscles are present in the heart. Present in heart. Yes, what are the different features of these muscles then? These striped muscles are the skeletal muscles. So what are their characteristic features? Means these muscles possess or bear, so they bear alternate bands of or alternate light and dark bands. So only they are called as striated or the striped muscles. That gives striations or striped appearance. So only they are called as striped or the striated muscles. What about these alternate dark and light bands which are called as striations? Whether they will be present or absent in the smooth muscles. So here what happens? Striations are absent. Striations are absent. Or no striations or no alternate dark and then the light bands will be present in the unstriped muscle or the smooth muscle. What about in case of cardiac muscle? Whether the striations are present or absent? Striations are present. So here also the striations are present and they are very faint in nature, means not so dark. Okay, their appearance is very faint. Next, what about their nucleus? What is the nature of the nucleus present in these type of muscles? With respect to the nucleus, the striped muscles are the striated muscles or skeletal muscles. So these are multinucleated. These are multinucleated. This nature is called as syncytial. Syncytial. What do you mean by syncytial? If more than one nucleus is present in one cell, means that is called as syncytial. So here skeletal muscles or the striped muscles are syncytial in nature, means multinucleated. What about in case of striped muscles? What about in case of striped muscles? So here also syncytial condition is present or not? So they contain only one nucleus. So they are uninucleated. So the muscle cells of striped muscles or the smooth muscles are uninucleated. What about in case of cardiac muscles? They are also uninucleated only. Uninucleated. So whether the muscles they are branched or the unbranched one. What about the branchings? Whether branchings are present in the striped muscle or unstriped muscle? Branchings are present here. Striped muscle. Striped muscle. It is unbranched. Striped muscles are unbranched. And the branching will not be applied to the smooth muscles. So these are also unbranched. But here cardiac muscles, they show branching. So these are branched one. They show branchings. Where do you see the branchings in the skeletal muscles? Only the parallel arrangement of the muscles are present, right? So no branchings will be present among them. What about the blood supply? With respect to the blood supply, where the blood supply will be rich and where it will be poor and where it will be abundant. So here in case, in cardiac muscle, the rich blood supply will be present. So here the blood supply is abundant. Blood supply is abundant for the skeletal muscles. And here blood supply depends on the need of the body or need of the energy by the body parts. In emergency situations, when the adrenaline and then the noradrenaline hormones are secreted by the adrenal gland, what happens? It enhances the rate of breathing as well as the cardiac output. At the time, more supply of the blood will occur to the skeletal muscles. Next, what about in case of smooth muscles? So blood supply is poor. Blood supply is poor for the smooth muscles, and for the cardiac muscle they are richly supplied with blood. Richly supplied with blood, or rich blood supply takes place to the cardiac muscles. With respect to their function, whether they are voluntary or the involuntary. What do you mean by voluntary? If the functions of those muscles are under the control of our willpower, then they are called as voluntary. If it is not under the control of our willpower, then they are called as involuntary, right? So what about the movement or the contraction or relaxation of the skeletal muscles? Whether they are voluntary or involuntary? Voluntary. What is the meaning of the voluntary? For example, if I throw this chalk to you, you may catch it or you may not catch it. That depends on your willpower. In order to catch that one, there should be the contraction and relaxation of the muscles of your hand. Then only you can catch that one, right? That depends on your willpower. You may catch or you may not catch it, right or not? But what happens once the food is engulfed into that esophagus? So will the movement of that food can be controlled by our willpower? No, right? Is the beat of the heart can be controlled by our willpower? If you stop means you will not be there to see its function, right? So here functions of skeletal muscles are voluntary. And what about smooth muscles? Smooth muscles also involuntary. And what about cardiac muscles? So their functions also involuntary, not under the control of our willpower. Yes, with respect to their function, whether they get fatigue or not, and which muscles get fatigue very easily? Skeletal muscles get fatigue very easily. So these skeletal muscles get fatigue easily. What do you mean by fatigue? Yes, get tired. So fatigue easily. What about smooth muscles? They do not get fatigue easily. Do not get fatigue easily. What about in case of cardiac muscles? Never get fatigue. They never get fatigue. Never get fatigue. Okay. Add one more point for this list. With respect to the intercalated disc, where the intercalated discs are present means they are present only in the cardiac muscles. So here intercalated disc are absent in case of striated muscle as well as so intercalated discs are absent smooth muscle and intercalated discs are present only in the cardiac muscle. Intercalated disc present. Okay. That will discuss when particularly we'll discuss regarding the heart muscles. Okay. Later we'll come to the discussion. So these are the properties or the characteristic features of different type of muscles. So here this classification is purely based on location where they are present and the function what they carry out and their structure. What is the shape of striped muscle or the smooth muscle? Yes? Spindle. Okay. With respect to their shape, here striated muscles are cylindrical in nature, right? And these striped muscles are spindle shaped. These are spindle shaped and unbranched. And cardiac muscles are also, these are cylindrical but these are branched. Okay, this is about the properties of different type of muscles. Any doubt in this one? Pin? Oh man. So with respect to the muscle, busiest muscle in body is the eye muscle or the muscles of eye. Next, biggest muscle, yes? Lungs. No. So there intercostal muscles will be there and diaphragm will be, right? So it will also not be busy, so much busy than that of eye muscles. Next is biggest muscle which is present in our body is, yes, any idea? It is called as ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. Yes, gluteus maximus of or which is present in the buttock or the hip region. Buttock or hip, that is what the biggest muscle present in our body. So what about the smallest muscle present in our body? The smallest muscle in our body is, yes, where it will be present, in which organ it will be present? Smallest bone present in ear. What is the name of that bone? Stapes, right? Stapes. Yes, associated with that only a smallest muscle is present. What is the name of that one? Name of that muscle. So that is nothing but stapedius muscle. Stapedius muscle. it's just like an cotton thread. Just like an cotton thread. It is just like cotton thread. And it is associated with that the steps of the ear ossicles in order to stabilize its position. In order to stabilize its position. Any doubt in this one? So these are also very important for the NEET examination. Okay. Next is regarding the discussion of the skeletal muscles only, right? So as we were discussing regarding here, the various type of movements and in the locomotion can be carried out in the living organisms, and as a part of human physiology, here we are associated with the skeletal muscles of the function as well as the structure of the skeletal muscles. Yes, what an muscle is made up of? What an muscle is made up of? So the muscle is made up of cells called as, so what these cells are called as? Myocytes. As they are fiber like, so these are also called as what is it? Muscle fibers. So these are called as muscle fibers. Such various muscle fibers are held together by means of an connective tissue and forms muscle. So many muscle fibers are held together. So these are held together by connective tissue to form an muscle. And we know that these muscles only continuously contract and relax in order to cause various type of movements as well as the locomotion, right? So these muscle fibers are parallelly arranged in the form of bundles to form that muscle. So muscle is made up of muscle fibers which are arranged together, means held together in the form of bundles. Here, held together in the form of the bundles to form an muscle. So if you look at the ultrastructure of the muscle or the muscular tissue or the skeletal muscle, particularly here we are discussing regarding skeletal muscle only, right? So what they are consists of skeletal muscle. So the skeletal muscle is made up of here. Muscle is comprised of, or it is made up of the bundles of muscle fibers. What these bundles of muscle fibers are called as? Yes, what is the name given for them? So those are called as fasciculi. Bundles of muscle fibers are called as fasciculi, and their singular form is fascicula. Okay, fascicula. So these are held together by means of connective tissue sheath only. So muscle is comprised of bundles of muscle fibers. Those are called as fasciculi. Such fasciculi held together by connective tissue sheath. Which forms external covering of muscle called as epimysium, which is called as epimysium. So what is the external covering of the muscle is called as epimysium.